Alrighty, I've been watching a few things. I watched something before, a couple of months ago, and I watched it again today. And I reckon it'd be a good one for old Elbo. And it's a van that looks very similar to my van. It's funny in a way, because just the front nose of it looks very similar to the Trudge A. It is basically the Chevy Lumina APV from the early 90s. You can go from 1990 through to 96, and they also had the Pontiac Transport and the Oldsmobile something or another. There's an Oldsmobile version that actually had leather seats, and they're a fairly different machine. Not only they got that real wedge-shaped nose like the Trudge, theirs is even more wedge-shaped. Another interesting factor is that's all plastic panels, so you don't dent them and they don't rust. And even as of some of the videos of 3 years ago, these panels are still good. And there's still, the paint's still good on most of these things. And people are buying them for $240 and just fucking throwaway prices. And, you know, there's no joke, you know, it is an old machine, isn't there? No doubt about it. It's only a few years newer than his machine. 3.1 litre V6, they are a little bit gutless, but they have a few features that make them really great as a stealth van. The first one being the fact they're fucking cheap as dirt. The second one being is the vast majority of these, it seems like 80% or more, if not the whole damn lot, come with tinted back windows as standard. Now I'm talking the tailgate and the side. Everything past the passenger, like the driver section, past your windscreen and your driver and front passenger door, everything else is heavy tint, and I mean heavy tint. You know, it's almost black sort of thing. I thought to myself, well shit, there's part of your stealth right there, is the fact your windows are so heavily tinted, and I mean they're really heavily tinted. Factory standard. The other thing is they're a lot like the Trudge, and I just about guarantee you Hyundai copied the seating setup in them, the way the seats, you know, with the Trudge, I've got the seats, and all you got to do is just flick and click and you pull all the seats straight out. The Chev's got the exact same thing, to the point that just the way it showed them pulling, you know, flicking one bit up and pulling the tab in the front part to release the whole thing. My gosh, it looks stunningly similar, and I think Hyundai might have actually got their hands on a Chev APV, or had someone over in the States basically, you know, measure the whole thing up and send it all back, or just send a few seats over, you know, because it looks like a goddamn copycat in my Hyundai. One of those ones where you got the, you know, you can release the seat back, and there's a little bit where you got two bars in the front, exact same as the Trudge A, and you squeeze those, and then the front part, and you just take out the second and third row seats in a few minutes. They ain't the lightest seats. Apparently they're about 30 pounds. But it's got to be better than the Trudge A, which is probably about 90 pounds a seat. Well, I mean, you know, they wouldn't be 90 pounds a seat, but I tell you what, they're not 30 pounds. They're somewhere north of bloody, north of 55 pounds, I'll put it like that. They're frickin' heavy, the Trudge A ones. But I guarantee you that was, you know, it gave Hyundai the chance to probably use some steel in place of aluminium to cheap out. Because, you know, like at the moment, steel and aluminium are pretty similar price as of a few years ago. At least they were, but further back, aluminium was significantly more expensive. So I bet you the Chev might have an aluminium aspect to it, and the Hyundai one, they just copied it and just made a steel one, and then made you suffer with, you know, a 55 pound, 60 pound friggin' seat, you know. But all the same, it's much the same sort of setup. Like the Windstar and like the Trudge A, where you have your you know, your wheel well for your back wheels, they've gone and put a big thing over there which has like a little, you know, little thing you can open up, little cubby holes that you can stick stuff in, and cup holders. And I believe, like the Windstar, it was optional, and of course that means some of them have the heating in the back, so you've actually got a rear fan. And in the reviews I've seen from the old Retro Report Motor Week reviews, it shows that you've got an actual, or no, might have been another one. There's someone else who had one in a car dealership that likes to go around, and the family owns a car dealership, and they love showing cars, not just at their family dealership, but at other people's dealerships. And they got over 1 million subscribers, this person, and it was either the Motor Week reviews or their one where they showed, I think it was the Motor Week, anyway, it doesn't matter. You got a rear fan button, just like I've got a rear air conditioning button in the Trajet, but no rear heat. It's American style, like the Windstar, where you've got a rear heat button, where you've got heating in the back because of your cold climate, versus here with a warm climate, you've got air conditioning in the back. And so that's another benefit if you know, that's the case. And, you know, I'm sure you get a tow hitch on there and you know, use his little rack and whack a generator on the back of the damn thing, but it might stand out like a sore toe. Really speaking, you know, I'm going to go to using that curtain before too long. Yeah, I might be going on another road trip. I don't know, we might end up using the curtain, we might not, because it's going to be bloody cold again, but I just sick to death of that fake wall. It's just so much bullshit trying to pack it away and everything. And I might just use the curtain, and I've got the curtain in the van already. I was just going to get a stick of some sort, and I might use a wooden stick, but I've actually got these fiberglass rods, which would probably go pretty well, but I don't know if they're long enough. I might need to join them, so I don't know. There's quite a chance I'll use plastic conduit, because I've got quite a lot of that too. And that's probably the way to go, because it's lighter, and it's not going to friggin' splinter if I, you know, jump out of bed at night and you know, knock it with my foot. I'm not going to get any splinters, because of course I sleep barefoot, obviously, like most of us do, or with socks on sometimes. But yeah, it's actually really easy to set up a curtain, even if you've got no sewing skills. So there's two types of fabric that's out there. You've got the most common one, which I completely forget the damn name of, that's your standard one where your thread goes, you know, north, south and east, west. You've got a vertical thread and a horizontal thread. That stuff will fray very badly. What you do though is you go by stretch material. And I don't care if it's stretch cotton, stretch whatever, it doesn't fucking really matter. What you do is you get the stretch material, and that will be what they call a weave. And it's more like, when you zoom in and you look under a magnifying glass, which I have, it's more like a knitted jumper, like your old Nana with the knitting needles type jumper. And it's got a strange feature where you can cut it and it won't fray. And if you cut it and you pull it, it'll actually just curl up a little bit on the ends. It'll curl over. And, you know, you can literally go get some of that, a bit of dollar store string, and whack it up, a bit of conduit or something in the middle. Hell, you can get a bloody stick off a tree, put it in the middle to help hold it up in the center of the vehicle. You can get what I've got on mine as well, which I hope ends up working. It's more dollar store stuff. It's Velcro that's adhesive on the back, and you can use that to hold your curtain together. What you also do, you've got to get the two sides of the curtain to overlap. So where your bit goes on your string, you actually notch those back in, so that your actual curtain hangs over more, because you've notched in the top where it slides on the string. And all you really need is just another bit of a dollar store needle and thread, And let me tell you, some of the dollar store thread is some of the shittest thread I've seen in my life. And you can tell quality of thread when you've seen enough thread like I have. And you can sew it up by hand, and you just sew a loop on the top, and everything else you just cut with scissors, and that's it, you know? And, you know, if you really want to use little clothes pegs to try and hold it to the seatbelt or what, it's all easy, you know? But, like he's an idiot, you know, oh, I've had all my options taken away in Yuma with urban camping. Well, that's because it's like trying to hide a fucking elephant in your front yard. Look at that bloody thing. Huge big ass thing, big fucking stripes down the side in blue, fucking big fiberglass roof, air conditioner on top. You know, like, god damn, it is obviously a fucking RV. And then you got that generator on the back, blah, blah, blah. It's obviously an RV. Quite obviously. Now let's face it. You could get 2 Chev Luminas by selling that fucking generator. You could sell the dead Onan generator and get a Chev Lumina with a freaking money free. Like, you know, you're gonna have money left over, you know? Never mind old stinky fucking, you sitting there with the bloody, hovering above the bed in the back, the hose that come off the black water tank. Now, there's a way you can cut it without vibrating it with a saw. You can actually use lops. Like, you know how you got secateurs for pruning, and you got the lops, which are like the long-handled thing, long-handled version. You can cut pipe with that. I don't know why Mr. X didn't cut it closer to the ceiling, but it's none of my fucking business. And here he is, and he's admitted this just recently. He has a grey water tank that vents straight into the back there. In other words, any water that, you know, like, you know, the ramen noodles water that got poured out of the pot, you know, and all of that other stuff, and washing your hands and whatever the heck else that's got, all that grey water. Oh, it's just, you know, it's just if it gets a hot day like it happens to be down there in the desert, all that's just evaporating out of the grey tank along with all that smell out of the grey water tank straight into the cabin. And then he's got the freshwater tank where he's taken the bloody sensors out of the side, or they fucked up or whatever, and they pulled them out. And, you know, then the water's splashing out of it onto the floor. Like, fuck this thing. You know, look, and you got a wooden floor. The wood's probably got black mould in it from the freshwater splashing over. Never mind the evaporation out of the grey water tank straight in the back. Fuck me drunk. That thing must, you know, I bet you they'll find a couple of dead mice behind the fridge too. You know, going around, huge fuel consumption. You stand out like a sore toe. Oh, I'm stealthing tonight in the suburb. You're not stealthing at all with that. It's like stealthing a fucking elephant in your front yard. You cannot stealth in something that is such a big machine and quite obviously an RV. You stealth in something that a soccer mum would drive. An SUV, you know, and maybe a cargo van that's all closed, a minivan with factory standard tinted windows that you've then put Reflectix with black contact, just like I got on the fake wall sitting down here, you know, black contact on the fake wall that you can't see. You know, you get all that on Reflectix put up. It's completely blacked out. You know, it is actually stealth because it's like a passenger vehicle. Not some god-awful thing with rust streaks coming off the edge of the window. Oh, the other... God blimey, the thing sticks out like fucking nothing else. You know? Oh, I'm stealthing. Well, maybe you wouldn't have trouble in Yuma if you actually properly stealthed it in a non-RV vehicle. Huh? God blimey, you know? Oh, it's getting so hard. Well, bro, you know, you could have got a BLM pass and gone out into the desert. But, oh, no, I don't do BLM passes. Well, if you've been fucking trespassed from everywhere else, pushed from pillar to post around in circles by that security guard and the cops and whatever, look, fucking go out in BLM land. There's fucking thousands and thousands of acres of it, but no, he's not going to get a fucking pass. Hell no. Just ridiculous, you know? So you're not going to do a van that you can properly stealth you're going to be there with some rattle box RV that stands out like a fucking elephant with, you know, and then you're not going to fucking use BLM land either. You know, why do you think you're having troubles? Well, that's right, you're totally fucking stupid to see the obvious that everyone else automatically sees. I mean, how fucking hard is it? I can see it, you know? Everyone else can see it. Not you. Oh, it's impossible. That's not impossible. You could have got a BLM pass and been perfectly legal, but oh, fuck that. God blimey, you know? But anyway, I know he's not going to listen to this shit, so it doesn't matter. So I'm not helping him because his fingers are in his ears. I mean, who the fuck needs a van that's that big, right, that you've got fucking 3 beds in the bastard? You got a bed in the back, you got the couch, which is also one, then you got another one over the cab. Fucking hell, you know? You need one bed. You're one person, you know? Squeeze the size down a bit and you squeeze the fuel consumption. And yes, these vans are gutless. But you know, there's a guy, I was reading a comment there, he had one and it went to 535,000 miles. How the fuck do you get that out of any GM? That in itself is phenomenal, that it's not a heavy-duty pickup truck. That it's just a minivan and a GM. 535,000 miles before he got rid of it. My gosh! Fuck! You know, that's it, and it's like, you know, you're not going to buy one new. It might have 100,000, it might have 150,000. But you know, there's plenty of life left if they got a life like that. All for about fucking 200 to 250 bucks. Fucking hell. God blimey. You just stop eating out for a week, there's your fucking 250 bucks. God blimey. But anyway, I'll tell you what, like I just envisioned it almost the same way as I've done the van out here, where, you know, like you sort of, the way I've done the bench, it seemed all the stuff that, you know, the cup holders and that going over the wheel arches are fairly low. And I was looking at that, in that fucking video, and I thought to myself, you could actually put a bed base, and they're wide enough, like they come out about 8 inches, but I reckon you could sit a bed base over the top of the fucking thing, so you have the leg, you know, in, obviously you can't put it over the top of that, but your legs will be, you know, in a foot from, at least from the side of the vehicle. You know, you can put the other leg in the middle right against that side of the bed, but you put that, you know, a foot in or 9 inches or whatever it needs to be, and you could have part of the bed base overlap all that cup holders and bullshit, and then it'll give you more room, you know. And I'm looking at this thing thinking, fuck me drunk, and they're just showing them taking all the seats out of it. They even showed that in the original ads back in the 90s. You can strip all the seats out in 5 minutes, you know, just like I can with the Trajet, except it's a bit more than 5 minutes because they're pretty heavy. But you know, but this is the thing. Do it all without even needing a spanner, you know? And the best thing with me is, like, they complicate the fuck out of legality of messing with seats and changing with seats here. And you're really not supposed, you know, you sort of can, apparently, with vans, you can take the seats out and they're not going to worry too much. And there's people register it like that. But with mine, I've got that extra layer of surety there that I haven't actually modified the vehicle to take the seats out because I didn't need a spanner to take the seats out. So I've got that extra layer of legal protection in case they ever hit me up with a little defective vehicle sticker and claim that I've modified it by taking the seats out. I can prove in court that this thing has the seats come straight out just using latches alone, you know. And yeah, but I just, you know, she's anyway, he's going to fumble and bumble around and we'll just get to fucking laugh our guts out because I know he'd never take any good advice, you know. Hell no.